Hello and welcome. My name is Cynthia Bowman, and I will be reading from a new paper, Street Harassment and the Informal Ghettoization of Women, or Hey Baby is Not My Name. Street harassment is a tricky issue. Its interpretation is almost entirely subjective, and the experience of it can range from violated and frustrated to annoyed. What is the difference between harassment, a catcall, flirtation, and a compliment? At the same time, it's difficult to argue that sexual harassment is anything but an unfair burden on women in urban spaces, and one that can be incessant and invasive. Any incident of street harassment typically has 5 characteristics. First, street harassment occurs in public places.
Once I was walking down the street in my neighborhood on a beautiful day, and I passed a 5-story apartment building. A guy stuck his head out of one of the windows all the way up at the top and yells at me to stop to talk to him. I'm like, WTF, I'm not going to shout at you all the way up and have a conversation that I didn't even want to have. So I continue walking. A few steps later, I hear a thud behind me, and I turned to see he had thrown a book at me from the window. Literally, thrown a book.
Why, oh why, does every mentally disabled man on the bus have to talk to me? It always starts the same. First, an invitation to sit down. Of course, no woman in her right mind would sit next to a strange man on a bus when invited. But the bus is crowded and I can't get away. And here's where it starts. What's your name? For today, let's say Alexis. Is that your book bag? And let the one-word answers begin. Yes. Are you coming from working out? No. Can I see your muscles? Definitely not. Are you married? Do you have kids? Are you going to be a mother? It continues for the whole ride until I'm getting closer and closer to my stop, and he hasn't gotten off the bus yet. And now the fear really sets in. As annoying as it is to deal with this on the bus, the thought of getting off at the same stop is just too risky. So do I stay on the bus extra stops and have to walk home farther? Also kind of risky. Or do I get off and take the chance of him getting off with me?
Second, the remarks are passed among acquainted members of the opposite sex.
Nothing makes the bottom drop out of my stomach quite like a grown man calling me baby. Baby girl, baby doll, sexy baby, pretty baby, hey baby, come here baby. These little words have the power to completely ruin my day. Suddenly the outfit that makes me feel so cute and confident when I put it on that morning makes me feel vulnerable and scared. All of the friendly strangers I had been making eye contact with on the street seemed to be staring at me the way a cat stares at a cornered mouse. The familiar neighborhood I had been walking through starts to feel frightening and dangerous. The big deal isn't just the words themselves, it's the underlying message. There's no point to a guy yelling, "Hey, sexy baby," at me out of the passenger window of a car as it speeds past. Even if I wasn't a creepy misogynist and wanted to give him my number, I couldn't. The car didn't even slow down. But that's okay, because he wasn't actually hitting on me. "Hey, sexy baby," is the first part of a sentence that finishes, "This is your weekly message from the patriarchy, reminding you that your body is public property."
Third, the expected response to a compliment, "Thank you," is unacceptable to the harasser and often leads to escalating hostility.
I was walking in Cairo with 2 female friends when a group of young men started catcalling us in Arabic. We were all dressed modestly, long sleeves, scarves, long pants, or an ankle-length skirt, but they continued nonetheless. They started following us down the street. After a block of this, one of my friends turned around and started yelling at them in Arabic They looked really shocked that we, or some of us, could understand them and actually turned around and slinked off. I asked my friend what she'd said, and she said she'd ask them how they would feel if someone talked to their mothers that way and that they should be ashamed of themselves.
Fourth, the remarks or acts often refers to the parts of the body not available for public examination.
I was walking with my brother in Dublin early one night when a boy, probably around 14 years old, pinched my ass as he walked past me. Like, I had a skirt on and he dipped his hand underneath it to pinch me. I was so taken aback that I actually just stopped in the middle of the sidewalk and turned around to see if it had really happened. And he was already on his skateboard with some friends, though he took a second to wag his tongue at me.
Finally, the remarks are usually not positive appraisals. In fact, they are often quite derogatory. I do not mean to suggest that positive appraisals are not harmful. Whether the harasser says, nice ass or fat legs, a woman still feels objectified and reduced to her body parts.
I always think it's a little scary the first time I wear shorts each spring, or really wear something that feels conspicuous. But the episodes of street harassment that stand out most to me are the ones when I've been hissed at. Once each in Spain and in Illinois, where I went to college, and was shocked both times to realize that angry animal noise was directed at me. Both times I was walking to school, alone, early in the morning, and there was nobody around, and I wasn't close to school yet. So I didn't do anything.
I was walking from my apartment to the subway, minding my own business, when I dropped my phone on the sidewalk. I picked it up and I went on my merry way when, next thing I know, I hear this man shout, "Do it again!" I turn around to see this 60 or 70-year-old man with his iPhone pointed at my ass. Let's say the only thing he ended up getting was a picture of my middle finger.
In a second study in 2008, out of 811 female respondents, over 99% of those female respondents said they had an experience of some sort of street harassment. Only 3 women said they had not.
Nothing makes the bottom drop out of my stomach.
Does everyone
I was walking with my brother in Dublin early one night when a boy, probably around 14 years old, pinched my ass as he walked past me. Like, I had a skirt on and he dipped his hand underneath it.
In one question, they could indicate the types of interactions they had with a stranger in public. Here are some samplings of their responses. Leering, honking and whistling, sexist comment, making vulgar gestures, saying sexually explicit comments, kissing noises, following, blocking path, sexually touching or grabbing, masturbating, assaulting. Street harassment forces women to alter their behavior, thus further oppressing women by denying them the opportunity to make authentic self-choices. Many women wear sunglasses, headphones, or dress down if they think they're going to be in a situation where there is the potential for street harassment. Normally, when people talk to you, you don't ignore them. Thus, street harassment forces women to act in ways they otherwise would not.
We call this our bitch face.
In conclusion, employing the term street harassment is used to describe the type of behavior to take one step towards breaking the silence and misconceptions surrounding street harassment, and gives them the strength to speak out, up, loud, and in response to street harassment.
I want to live in a world where I can walk down any street without being harassed, where I don't have to do terrifying calculations about how what I wear in public will affect my basic safety. I want to live in a world where I don't have to devote some of my brain power to these types of thoughts, where I can think fully about whatever I want without wasting energy wondering if existing as a woman in public is a danger to my personal safety. So stop telling me to smile, 'cause hey baby is not my name.